Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday morning here at the Frederickstown homestead, and the sun is shining, and the skies are blue, and we have apples. Yes, we do have to leave the homestead. However, we still have a bushel of apples that we need to take care of. So right now, Mike went through this morning and peeled and diced all these apples for me. And I'm getting ready to start a simple syrup to make pie filling. We have so many jars of applesauce. It'll be nice to have something else on the shelves when we get back to Akron instead of just applesauce. So I'm going to get the syrup going, and I'll check with you guys when I start canning. Alright, everyone, so I have our apples cut up in lemon water. I have our syrup nice and hot. I'm going to get it up to a boil here in just a second. And then we have our 7-quart jars. This recipe is a low sugar recipe, and it also uses the apples to help thicken the syrup. So what you do is you take your apples, you get this at a nice rolling boil, drop apples in a couple of handfuls at a time, let them boil for a couple of minutes, and then transfer them into a jar. And that'll help thicken the syrup and add some of the sweetness into the syrup. And then you'll use that syrup to fill the jars for the pie filling. So I'm going to get set up to show you guys the process. Alright, so here are our 7 jars of apples, and then we have the juice and syrup, the syrup for them that you need to let boil for a few minutes and reduce down just a little bit. And I'm going to add some cinnamon and nutmeg and a little bit of clove to it to season the apple pie filling. And then once this does thicken up just a little bit more and reduce down, we'll add it into the jars. Alright, so we have our 7 quarts of apples, our syrup that is now simmered down, and then we have our water bath canner going, getting nice and hot. I'm going to go ahead and fill the jars with the syrup and go from there. Alright, so there we have our jars in our canner. You do want to make sure that you have about 1 inch of water over top of your jars. When they're down in the canner, you want to bring that to a rolling boil with the lid on it for 20 minutes. And then you can turn your pan off and take the lid off and let them cool for about 5 minutes. And then pull them out set them on a towel on your counter, and let them sit for 12 to 24 hours until they are completely cooled. And your lid should all have sealed. So that's where we're at. I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Alright everybody, so closing out this video real quick. The apple pie filling ended up being just cooked apples canned. For whatever reason the syrup did not thicken up properly. So, probably because I'm too distracted to be canning anything. But they have apples canned. They can be made into pie filling later. It's not even a big deal. I'm not worried about it. We've left you guys hanging about the pork broth. I did strain it, and we made pretty much like a pork stew for dinner last night. It turned out really well. Used some of the meat from the head and that really rich pork bone broth. We're trying not to can anything else because now we have all these jars full of food that we have to transport. So canning the broth was just kind of a non-option, and we really don't have the freezer space to put it in the freezer. So that's where we stand on that. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Might not have a whole lot to show you because we're going to get busy unpacking and cleaning up all of our stuff. Getting the pantry packed up and all that kind of thing. So I will check in with you guys tomorrow, and you have a good day.